Yo, what's good, my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned. Today we are going to be talking about all of the stuff that is missing from the global version of the game and all of the stuff that would catch us up to the Japanese version of the game by the time the half anniversary comes for us, which was the Japanese version's first anniversary. Now, this video is important because as I record this right now, it is the 19th of March, which means that we officially have 49 days until the half anniversary on the global version of the game. And when you see all the stuff that's packed in between those 49 days, you start to realize, like, yo, they're about to spam us with so much stuff. But the difference in between now and the start of the game was when they were spamming us with stuff before, there was such a low tier cast of characters in the game. The only character that you really needed at first, or really wanted at first, that was worth really investing into, that was beyond the SR rarity, was Blue Gojo. Other than that, all the other DPSs were kind of whatever. But obviously Yellow Nobara helps out, but Yellow Nobara does have replacements. Obviously, Yellow Mekamaru came out. Obviously, Young Gojo came out. Young Gojo definitely made sense to summon for. It was reasonable, even though he is coming on a standard banner update later in the future that they already confirmed in the Japanese version. That is still going to be in the future. So far ahead in the future that even the JP version does not have it yet. So we do not know how long you're going to go without hidden inventory Gojo. You know, Green Yuji is solid, and then he obviously falls off once Hollow Purple Gojo comes out. And even Mahito is a free-to-play character, and his damage, though it may not come as fast as some other characters, it is still more consistent and more guaranteed because typically Mahito's damage, or literally Mahito's damage, scales off of the enemy's max HP. So it always does a percentage of their HP, and the first initial hit he does is based off of his actual like power level, but like, again, not really too consequential considering that you can just cheese their health off with his domain expansion. Obviously level up his domain expansion for that, but blah blah blah. The reason why I put the thumbnail golden era of JJK Phantom Parade is because we are about to be in a state of overload that even the JP server has never ever experienced before. Like I said, the things that I'm about to cover in this video, if they want them to be in the game before the first anniversary comes out, and I'll be honest with you guys, I thought about it. They move all this stuff around and jumble all these characters around and all this stuff like that, and honestly, some of these characters are linked to the story mode that they actually released during the story mode. But if you remember, at the start of the game, the story mode was like a linked story mode between the Fukuoka branch story and the main story of the game. I say that specifically because we are supposed to have a thing where those two things are split up and differentiated. But yes, the game started out as its own kind of like original story that was kind of following the main story of JJK, but also had random characters, new original characters mixed in there. So that led to the story not being 100% canonical, and that led to them being able to move characters around wiggle room as much as they needed to. But since they already took the executive decision to go ahead and speed ramp all these characters and everything, then it only makes sense to me that they'll speed ramp the last few characters within these last 49 days. Because you got to think, even though we get bi-weekly updates, typically when we get our updates, they show us stuff for like the next 3 weeks, and then there's always like something that has like its own little bye week, right? And then it leads into the next like 2 or 3 things. So it makes complete sense that we only have 49 days left from this point on. This is literally 7 days or 7 weeks, right? With those 7 weeks, they could literally, we already know that the stuff is coming for the first like 3 weeks, right? That are coming up next from the 21st of March, and all that stuff is going to last until April 10th, but that does not mean nothing's going to get announced until April 10th. Probably more than likely what's going to happen is, because you see the ending dates, they're going to be like April 3rd, April 7th, April 10th. I say around April 3rd, we get announcements for things that are coming starting on April 7th, but those things are going to be here for April 7th, April 14th, April, 21st, whatever, right? That's how I see them doing it. That's just overloading us with a bunch of stuff, and it's not really going to be an overload. It's more so going to be an improvement, because not every single thing that they're throwing our way is going to be a banner. Obviously, those banners are going to have events with them, so those are free cubes right there and other free resources, of course. Then also on top of that, they should be adding new campaign style events for rewards and new story chapters, like all kinds of things. But I have a definitive list. Y'all can see my 100 billion tabs open like I'm the Truth DT. I have my list of all of these different things that they should be implementing. So let's go ahead and just dive in and see why we are in the golden era of Jujutsu Kaisen. So guys, the first things that I'm going to cover are the things that they actually showed us in our latest bi-weekly update that are coming out. So we have the Miwa story event, a Sorcerer's Balance. Really, this is a Sorcerer's Scale. That's what the official English translation is. Basically, you always can go off of the English version's titles for the official names of these events, because sometimes things in Japanese are a little harder to translate, and sometimes there are literally words in Japanese that don't translate over properly. I've learned this time and time again as I'm trying to learn Japanese, and also just watching The Truth and Goresh, you know, go back and forth, banter in videos. I don't mean to say go back and forth like they argue, but we have a Sorcerer's Scale, and we have a pickup gacha coming. Now guys, in this video, I'm not going to go over the pickup gacha characters at all, and I'm not going to go over Toto at all, because things have changed so drastically. While this is going to be the golden era of Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade, that means that you have to lock in harder than ever, because when Jujutsu Kaisen in the manga reached a golden era of Jujutsu, motherfuckers had to lock in for their life. So please, Magic Knights, lock in, and please be smart and do not summon on these extra banners. There is no point. Okay, I will, however, go over all of the free-to-play pages for you guys, because you at least get to know that, because that is something that you are going to be able to farm alongside farming cubes, experience, recollection bit experience, JP, crystals, whatever, right? These are things that you're going to get for free as long as you play the game. So the page is called Our Priorities, and this is coming to global, I believe, on the 21st. Yes, in 2 days, on the 21st. So this page is, I'm only going to read them at Limit Break 3 and Limit Break 1, because we're going to be able to get them for 5-star for free. When command skill or ultimate skill is activated, so pay attention to that. You can use this on any skill, so you don't have to just use your ultimate for this. Increase all allies' damage by 20% for 1 turn, effective for blue type attacks. Actually, this seems very impactful for the blue team, and I will definitely be using this on whoever my supporter is for my blue team. Momo, she already has perfect synchronization, but I'm pretty sure I have another supporter on. Ooh, do I want to take it off again? You know what? Different video, different time. But this is a very good option, guys. If you don't have archery training with Norzushi combo, which already boosts everybody's damage dealt by a very good amount, or if you don't have perfect synchronization, which is an SR page, you definitely have that. But if you have perfect synchronization with this, you can use them in combo. Also, at the start of battle, all allies damage increases all allies damage by 10%. Effective if the selected enemy has weakness to blue. So literally, this is just like a mono blue page. Whatever is weak to mono blue, this page is going to be incredible in helping you. Oh wait, this is the standard page. That's the standard page, but if you look at the picture for the event, the standard banner page is actually the one that says ignoring orders. So this is the actual standard banner page. This is on the wiki just improperly, because typically the one that is the picture for the event itself is the free-to-play page. It did just say standard on it, if you see right here, but I'm certain that this one is the free-to-play page. So guys, don't worry about it. Another thing that makes this page good is because it has a 6-turn cooldown. It seems that on average, the really good offensive pages have 6-turn cooldowns. Typically, that kind of is that's what makes them really good. The fact they have their offensive capabilities, but it only is a 6-page situation. So very good page for free nonetheless. Then the next event that we're going to be getting into is going to be the map event, Great Exorcism Battle Valley Edition 1. This is going to be coming on the 28th with the red My banner. Again, all of these things have already been announced for us, so we already know that this is coming, but I thought I'll go ahead and still include it into the video, because this is included in what we are going to be getting in these next 49 days. We just know about it. Or rather, we just know the timetable is coming in. The page that you get from this event is called Tea Party. Tea Party at Limit Break 3 decreases own damage received by 25% one time for 1 turn. Cannot be used on your ultimate, but usually the offensive ones are the ones you want to use on your ultimate, so that's perfectly fine. 7 turns is a bit of a letdown, but it still is 25% damage decrease for a free page. That's not too bad, especially if you are tricking yourself into thinking that Panda is actually useful. Yeah, I see you, Tricks and Light and whoever else was cursing my summons that day. But if you think that Panda is useful, this is a good page for him if you're a free-to-play player and you don't have a good tank page for him. Because I saw one page in the game that made me think, okay, maybe this page can make a tank solid. Don't remember what the page is at the moment, but I'll find it and talk about it someday. At the start of each turn, when your health is 50% or below, up to 2 times during battle, you recover 10% HP. So again, for a free-to-play option, a very solid page for tanks. Tanks aren't that good, but I mean, it gives them something. Like, it feels like tanks need hidden potential, at least in the global version, right? This is what it feels like right now. For a tank to actually be good, they need the hidden potential system to be added in, so they have extra stats, of course, because defense is even a stat. Then, so they need extra HP at the very least. Then also they need a specific page that will work very good with their kit and be able to push them to that next level. But for now, I still don't, looking through all of the tanks in the game, looking through all the pages, I still don't think I think the only combo that's going to be impressive enough is Red Panda after the hidden potential update, and then that page that I'm talking about that I cannot remember the specific name of right now. Maybe it's Liar, I Hate You, the page with Mai and Maki, but not sure. The page gives damage reduction and also gives a revive. And honestly, chat, if you know what page that is, you can go down below the video and you can leave a comment letting me know what that is. And honestly, also while you're like at it, go down below the video and leave a like as well. Subscribing, we can talk about that later on. Let's get a few more videos out and then you can decide if you want to subscribe, but at least leave a like because you're here chilling with me right now. After we get that event and we get the Tea Party page, the next thing that we're going to be getting is going to be the Jogo rerun, or rather at the same time, we'll simultaneously be getting the Jogo rerun on the Powerful Enemy battle, and this is also going to bring the page Curse Born from the Land, and this page is sacrifices 15% of own HP, can be activated on any skill. Sacrifices 15% of your own HP, but you can't die from sacrificing your HP. Increases own damage by 50% for 1 turn. And the lower the HP is, the greater the damage boost. Then at the start of battle, increases own flame resistance by 30%. Flame resistance is such a specific debuff that only Jogo or some random created mob would have to have for it to actually matter, or I guess like a future version of Sukuna, right? Because we've seen Sukuna use Fuga in the anime at this point, right? So some way down the road version of Sukuna, but I'm gonna be honest with you, by the time that version of Sukuna comes out, who's to say that this page is gonna be the only page with flame resistance on it? If flame becomes a more meta thing, then flame resistance will become a more meta thing, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta make some way to combat it. It's gotta be balanced, checks and balances. But also this page just sucks because it sacrifices your HP for a very low damage boost. And I will say, this is a greater damage boost to lower the HP, and that implies there is no cap on how much damage you can get, whereas other things, other procs in the game typically are telling you, okay, you have to, you only get up to this much extra damage, or you only get to this much extra defense, or damage reduction, or this, or that, right? But this one seems to be limitless, but losing health is not something that I'm trying to do. But theoretically, if your health was 1, you do really big damage, I guess. You go higher than maybe... If this doesn't push your damage dealt higher than like non-standard or 2 stacks of pride or something like that, then yeah, this page is absolutely useless. But again, it's going to be a free-to-play page. And guys, I'm saying you're guaranteed going to get these pages 5-star because yes, I know you can trade in SSR pages for points to trade in for your memory reels so you can buy more tickets for the standard banner to prep for the next standard banner update. But the free-to-play pages that we get in the game, they're literally only going to give you 5 points. The only free-to-play pages in the game that give you 100 points each are the first few pages from the actual the formidable battle events. The 4 events where you have to fight the Cursed Spirit that got a hold of Sukuna's finger, where you got to fight the Kyoto All-Stars, you got to fight the Tokyo Second Years, and you got to fight Jogo as well. Those 4 missions. Those missions give you free-to-play pages if you beat all the levels to them with 3 stars, and you can trade those pages in for 100. But honestly, the point that we're at in the game, most of those pages, I can't remember what all of them do, but I think at least half of those pages are pretty good, so be careful with those. After we get the Jogo event, or rather not after, I guess simultaneously again, we're going to be getting Hidden Inventory Part 3. At first I thought this was a summon banner, so I was kind of like but it's not a summon banner actually. It's literally just a memory quest, which is going to be giving us another free page, and this page is called I See Then Die. This page, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, any skill, excellent, increases own taijutsu and jujutsu damage by 45%, and then at the start of each turn, if own curse energy is 50 or above, increases own damage dealt by 20%. Now, this page is actually very, very excellent, because this page only has a 6-turn cooldown, it's boosting your jujutsu and taijutsu. This will be excellent on a character like Hanami, and honestly, just for reference real quick, I do want to pull up another page that I also think is very excellent for Hanami. So guys, this is the only page that I'm going to do this for, but I just want to give you a side-by-side comparison. This page is actually the limited banner page from Yuta's banner whenever he came out. I have a 5-star already, and I don't really use it that often, but I did start to work on it just in the case that I do get a Hanami, and you know the Hanami ends up being cracked or something like that. And now I have yellow Hanami, so I do definitely want to work on yellow Hanami and test them out. And I know yellow Hanami came out with Reunion After the Rain, which is a boost all yellow characters damage by like 20 or 30% or some shit, and then boost everybody's crit rate or something like that every time he gets a crit or something of that nature. Not exactly that, but this one right here also I think will work really good for Hanami, just because Nanami's damage, if you look at all his skills, it evenly scales off of Jujutsu and Taijutsu damage. So literally, if you can boost both of them equally, then I feel like you're giving him the maximum buffs he could get. This page right here gives you 35% Taijutsu and Jujutsu damage for two turns. And if own HP is 40% or below, recovers own HP by 20% up to 1 time during battle, which this page is very good for Yuta because he doesn't have a skill that does scale off of Jujutsu and Taijutsu, but for the most part, you can just focus on buffing up Yuta's Jujutsu and still get very good effects. This page, on the other hand, only 1 turn, but an extra 10% on that boost. And this one you're guaranteed to get for free, and it's still a 6-turn cooldown. So you will be able to spam this as often as you can spam this. And instead of it being a defensive thing at the end, because I use other pages on Yuta anyway, this right here is perfect for Yuta because, as you know, as long as Yuta's curse energy is above 10, if somebody on the team's HP is below 70%, I believe, he'll heal them 10% of their HP or something like that, right? And he can only do that 3 times, but when he heals himself, he is excluded from that heal. This is excellent for him because once his health gets low enough to a certain point, he will heal himself by 20%, which will make him last a little bit longer after him burning out all his curse energy, healing everybody, and him being whittled down the entire time. But now they decided to just go a more offensive route, and it's at the start of each turn, if your curse energy is 50 or above, increases on damage by 20% for 1 turn. And yes, this is only 1 turn, but the caveat is having 50 energy or above. If you're using this man with Kaito, the Hanami, right? I'm specifically thinking of this for yellow Hanami. If you're using yellow Hanami with Kaito and you're just spamming the move that boosts your curse energy, it's gonna be very easy to get Nanami's curse energy over 50. So every turn, you're going to be getting 20% increase to your damage dealt, and then every 6 turns you'll be able to get Taijutsu and Jujutsu up 45% to get really nice ultimate stats in there. So I will actually say that so far, out of all the pages that we have looked at for all the free-to-play stuff, this one's probably the king. Not gonna lie, this is the only one that I see clearly replacing a page that I actually thought was good beforehand. But I'm gonna go back and get this one to full screen, and we're gonna keep going down our timeline here. Another thing that's gonna be coming our way is the Pickup Gotcha Hidden Inventory Premature Death 1 rerun. Guys, if you have enough cubes and you still need a yellow DPS, I do not hate the idea of you summoning for yellow Gojo, because this time he's going to have a pity with him. And secondly, now that we've gotten the standard banner update, I believe the rest of the standard banner characters should be on this banner now, which is insane to think about because the standard banner update came like last fucking week. So now this is just coming back a week later, and automatic, the value of this banner just increased like tenfold. It's like, okay, now I'm not just summoning for this Gojo, because that's all you were summoning for before when you were summoning on this banner. Or I'll cut you some slack. Now I'm not summoning for Gojo, or if you're like a free-to-play player who still doesn't have it, non-standard, Like-Minded Sisters, the one where they're sitting under the trees, the healing page, you know, a slight gap, you know, all these different pages. Now all of a sudden you're summoning for Yellow Gojo and Incomplete Domain Megumi and Blue Momo and Red Yuji, who I guess is not as notable as those other characters, but still pretty solid, and Hollow Purple Gojo. Like, if those characters were added to the banner, I don't hate your decision to summon again, but also remember, and I will harp on this point, we have 49 days until the half anniversary. And 49 days sounds like a lot, but like, bro, that's less than 2 months. That is less than 2 months. That's like a month and a half, basically. 30 days and then another like 19 days. Yeah, that's like a little over a month and a half, right? So we are not that far away. So be careful, but also get what you need to get, because your only option for summoning for an insane yellow DPS after Hidden Inventory Gojo is literally going to be I don't consider yellow Kaito an option, because you shouldn't be summoning for that. That's the last banner right before anniversary. They did give 10 free tickets during the Japanese versions, kind of like campaign and everything, but other than that, I don't see you needing to summon on that much past that. Yellow Zone Yuji is going to be your next option, really, and I don't even consider him an option, because I'd say that Sukuna's damage is so overwhelming as a character in general. Like, fuck colors, fuck all that. Even if he was in an event where blue was weakened, his damage is so impactful. I feel like Sukuna is just always going to be 10 out of 10 the better choice than that yellow zone Yuji. But if you have enough and you feel confident in your ability to get all three of them, do as you wish, bro. But yeah, if you don't summon for Gojo right here, basically your chances of picking up a yellow character are pretty shot until the anniversary, because then at that point you're just hoping that you pull yellow or incomplete domain Megumi on every banner that they give you a free multi on, or hope that you're pulling him on the anniversary banner itself. But I only bring up this rerun pick a gacha really not even for you to summon on it, just to say, if they give us a free multi-summon on this banner, that's a major W. And you may not think it's a major W, but this event already came out before, which means they've already given us a free multi on it. So they would be giving you a second chance at getting Gojo for free. And guys, in case you do not know, in case you have not been paying attention to my live streams, I got, or that wasn't even a live stream, it was a video. I got yellow Gojo for free on the first multi, and then from that spurred me on to do a full rotation on him and then start to recollect my stones after the fact. But guys, again, if this comes back and they give us a free multi on it, that is a major global W. Not even like a global W over the Japanese version, just a major global W, because I don't even remember if they gave another free multi for the Japanese version when it came out. I mean, I guess technically they did, because it was cubes that came out with it whenever it came out, but let's be real, who's using cubes on this when they could have had free tickets? And the last thing that is actually going to be in the game that we have a notice for currently, right now, is grade 13 coming into the game. We have grade 13 coming, which is going to be bringing chapter 15 with it, or rather we have chapter 15 coming, which is going to be bringing grade with it. And guys, some of the stuff on the list that you see right here, like right here, inconsequential to global players, because we get this every single weekend. This does not matter if it lasts for like a week or something like that, because it comes every weekend. It's as if they understand the position that they put global players in, and they were like, all right guys, while we are going to be bum rushing all these characters and all these banners and all these events down your throat, we also will work on a way to alleviate the pain for you along the way. And I'm going to list off all 4 of the major global W's have after this, but nonetheless, honestly, 5 major global W's. After we get grade 13 and chapter 15, and also with chapter 15, this should be incorporating a new EX chapter event, so that's some more cubes for a hard event. And I think those give away like 300 cubes or something like that. I think those give away 300 cubes. But after we get over this right here, we are officially now in the territory of things that have not been announced in Phantom Parade. And this is like where the real golden era starts. Like pretty much all of that stuff that I just brought up to you is appetizer, because when all of that stuff finishes, the last date that we've seen, or the latest date that we've seen from all the information that we have acquired from our latest bi-weekly update, the last thing is going to be leaving on April 10th. Once April 10th comes, we are 27 days away from the half anniversary. So literally, after all this stuff happens, we're going to be halfway to the half anniversary. And I believe that they're going to make a push to get every random little character that nobody gives a shit about on the banner, because we're missing, I didn't even count up how many banners we're missing, but like I didn't really think it mattered too much, because you shouldn't be summoning on these banners anyway. But I do have a tally of all the stuff that's coming, so I'll also give y'all the banners that are coming with it. But now we're officially jumping into that territory of golden era. Like, okay, all of this stuff is going to be coming, and I'll cut you some slack. Let's say that stuff starts rolling out by April 3rd. That would mean that on April 3rd, we have 34 days left before the half anniversary. But even still, nonetheless, guys, do not be surprised to see all this stuff that I haven't even gone over yet, but I'm about to go over. You see all these tabs. Don't be surprised when all of this stuff does show up in the next, like, 5 to 7 week range. Don't worry, I didn't break anything, but let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing, and this is far back actually, this came out pretty early on, and this came out right before the JJK hidden inventory stuff, so the half anniversary actual on JP. The map event Great Sorcerer Battle 3, Dead Mall Edition. This one did not have a banner come out with it specifically. This one had the Shoko banner come out with just the Shoko page, but the free-to-play page that came out for this one is called Panda the Fashionista. This page at max decreases all allies' damage received by 10% for 2 turns, and that's a 7-turn cooldown. That's actually not that great. And this one can be activated on any skill, so you can use it anytime. So this one's like the ones that you can use anytime, those ones can be game changers, because say you're in a situation where like, okay, maybe my health is too low, and you have a healing page you can use anytime, or say maybe my health is too low and I need just that extra little bit of defense to make sure I don't get hit because I'm stacking on top of Hanami's debuff and Inamaki's buff, right? Say something like that, then yes, this page can add you those little extra bits, but honestly, at the point that you're using this page, there's probably a better page that you can use to lower the damage reduction. Mutual Trust, is it called? At the start of a turn, if any ally's HP is 40% or below, self-excluded, grants taunt to self for 1 turn, up to 1 time during battle. Okay, self is excluded from the taunt, or self is excluded with the 40 HP or lower requirement. But, question, what if, and this is a big what if a character's HP is below 40%, but the tank that you have's HP is below like 40% or 30%, and then they get 1 tap because they automatically taunt? This one's a bad page. Honestly, I don't like this one very much. But nonetheless, it is an event that we're missing, and that's just cubes that we're missing. The next thing that I have is like a major kind of like milestone for what we should be getting is they still have not introduced the event marathon campaign. And guys, JP players will be able to go down and below in the comments and confirm for me, but because I've had a very brief experience with this during the anniversary on JP when I was re-rolling. But event marathon is essentially this extra little campaign, right? So you're already going to be farming whatever story event is out at the time, whatever imaginary battle is out at the time, whatever map event is out at the time, or whatever story missions are out at the time, right? But event marathon is pretty much an extra layer of rewards on top of rewards that you already would get, because the event marathon, it sounds exactly as it is. It's a marathon, right? And you have to do events like a certain number of times, and as you do these events a certain number of times, I believe you beat certain missions, hit certain milestones, and it literally gives you like this little travel marker, and every 10 that you go on the travel marker is a different reward. And I believe that every 50 you go is some cubes or something like that. And I think when you get to like 150, that's like the end of the marathon, and they give you an SSR guaranteed ticket or something like that. So very, very excellent rewards, and we have not seen that campaign yet in the global version. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the way that the global version looks to the JP version, like bro, global is about to become the main timeline of JJK Phantom Parade. And that's crazy to think about, because they're about to bum rush us with the greatest event reward sprawl that we have seen in a gacha game in a while, probably. And not to mention, they're also going to be getting at a much faster rate than the JP version. So while we're going to be getting spammed with banners, we are so close to the half, like bro, before it was, we're close to Yuta, but you can still summon if you want to, because even if you don't get Yuta, you can possibly get Toji, right? There's nothing to replace Domain Expansion Gojo amongst anything in the Japanese version yet. There's nothing to replace Sukuna during the Japanese version yet. And I'm literally going to be doing a separate video talking about how I think the sync up is going to work between Global and JP. But as of right now, there is nothing more incredible than those two. Gojo is literally the best character in the game because he is the best support in the game, or debuffer in the game, and he has insane damage, like he's the best DPS in the game. But then Sukuna comes out, and Sukuna is actually the best DPS in the game, hands down, bar none, no question. So these banners that are coming up, you should not be summoning. How many things have I gone over so far? I've literally gone over, and obviously this is stuff that they told us, but I've gone over a story event, free cubes, free page, a map event, free cubes, free page, Jogo rerun, free cubes, free page this time around, conveniently. Then I talk about the hidden inventory part 3 memory quest, free cubes, free page, literally over and over and over again, free cubes, free page. Don't look at the banners. Ignore the banners. It is okay. Those characters are actually going to be added on a second standard banner. And honestly, summoning for those characters before, I do feel like the second wave of characters after the first standard banner update actually are a lot more of a better consistency than the original characters that came before them. But if I'm going to be real, they're just overall not worth summoning for, especially that now that you have such early notice that they will be doing another standard banner update in the future. Chapter 15, more cubes. The EX mission in chapter 15, more cubes. Grade 13 allows you to push your characters and then get more cubes from the rank system and more stats for your characters. And a map event, more cubes, free page. You see how much stuff I just went over? And they're about to incorporate something like the event marathon campaign and put that on top of us in the game in the state where in 50 days we're about to be getting spammed with, okay, this event, 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 right? We're about to be getting spammed with shit, and it's okay because it's all leading up to peak Jujutsu. Bro, I can do a separate video honestly talking about all the stuff that's coming in the anniversary, just because the anniversary is 49 days away. And honestly, bro, you don't even have to leave a certain number of likes on this video for me to do that. I'm just kind of riled up talking about it right now. So I will do a separate video talking about what is coming for the anniversary, just so global players really understand what they will be missing out on if they do not summon on the anniversary banners, and if they do not work towards the anniversary characters. The next thing after the event marathon is going to be the story event, Dancing Amongst the Flowers. Ignore the Maki banner, ignore the page with Maki. The Maki page that we are going to be getting for free is called Girls School Sorcerer. And what Girls School Sorcerer does is, saw a little art, Maki, you know, actually getting acknowledged by other people instead of just being, is she getting bullied actually? She kind of has like this laugh, and it looks kind of like she has like this stress line in her face. Maybe she's getting clowned, or she's getting, this is what happens when you don't actually listen to the story events and you're just there for the cubes. But literally, maybe she talked to somebody and she's like trying to play off the fact that she's a Jujutsu sorcerer and she's walking away. I don't know. But this one is increases anti-jutsu damage by 40% for 1 turn. It's a 6-turn cooldown. It can be used on any skill. So not bad for a free-to-play page. I'm going to be real with you. And then when debuffing an enemy, increases anti-jutsu damage by 40% for 2 turns. So if you use this page and debuff an enemy, you're literally going to get an extra buff right here. And then if you debuff the enemy again the second turn, you still have the original 40% buff. You're going to get another 40% buff on top of that. So when you lose this 40% buff, your damage is still going to look the same. And then you can keep, honestly, if you have a debuff skill to spam, ooh, which it doesn't really matter that much for Geto, because Geto is like more cursed energy than Taijutsu, I'm pretty sure. But even still, if you had a character that was like a physical DPS but had a crazy debuff like Geto, you could essentially just keep debuffing. And that's probably why they made a lot of characters in the hidden potential update. There are a lot of characters that had no cursed energy, so they could just spam moves infinitely, and now the moves have like a countdown timer. Probably because pages like this exist. But I don't think this page is bad actually. As a free-to-play page, I think this was actually pretty solid. One of the first times I jumped back into the JP version of the game, actually, it was this event and this page and everything. And honestly, the Maki is, like I said, Maki's cool, but I'm not going to entice you with characters you should not be summoning for. So I'm not going to break her down, so you're just like, she sounds kind of good, I might need her. Because no, you don't need her. You have Hollow Purple Gojo, and if you don't have Hollow Purple Gojo, standard banner. If you summon on the standard banner and you did not get what you needed to get, and you were still getting tickets, I say go ahead and keep summoning on standard banner, because that's free nonetheless. And literally the next update, again, we do not know when it's coming. So if you still need characters from the standard banner that are going to make you not summon for characters that are coming out, then do that. If you still need a really good buffer to prevent you from summoning for a good buffer, if you don't have Blue Momo, standard banner. If you need a really good green DPS because you still don't have a good green DPS to prevent you from summoning, because we're going to get 2 DPSs, or I think one is a debuffer who can function kind of like a DPS, but we're going to get 2 DPSs. Actually, no, we already got Saki, who's going to rerun. We got Maki here, and then we have green Nobara, and then we also have Megumi. So a lot of green characters. But if you just use your standard banner tickets and get the first copy of Hollow Purple Gojo, obviously save up your character shards, because when you get to the anniversary, you're going to summon, you're going to get a bunch of dupes of characters that you already have, because it's a gacha game, let's be real. And then you can trade in those character shards and get trade in for copies of characters that you summoned for on the standard banner. Like, guys, there is a very clear-cut system to how you can get these characters worked on. You do not need to summon all day and look for the new character just because you're missing the last character. There are ways for you to chase the last characters without affecting your cube amount at all, and there are ways for you to boost those characters after the fact that don't necessarily require summons at all, but can also require summons, because you can just get lucky during summons. But I digress. Another thing that we should be getting is going to be the Pickup Gacha Hidden Inventory Premature Death Rerun Part 2. And again, there's no guarantees on this. I just want to point out, when this reruns, if they give us, and you know what, I'm going to speak it into existence, chat. I'm just going to speak it into existence. When they give us a free multi for this banner, because you got to think, they got to spam all this stuff within 50 days. That's going to be very overwhelming. It's going to be very enticing. They got to, and I'm going to be honest with you. Free tickets goes one of 2 ways. Either somebody's like, I already hit that first summon, bro. I already ripped the band-aid off. I'm going to just keep summoning. Or you're just like, all right, I got my free summon, got it out of my system, boom. it could go either way for the development team. It does not hurt for them to put out a free multi, because either people aren't going to summon on it at all, or you're going to be able to entice people with one summon. And the people who are strong enough are not going to summon after that one summon. They're going to be like, unless, you know, you end up like me, you get your first copy of Gojo, you're like, okay, I want dupes. But honestly, you get Gojo on that first multi, I do not recommend what I did. I'm the dead man. I am the gacha whisperer. I can call units in a multi. I can call the results of a multi before I get the multi on a really good day. I'm literally known as the Gacha Whisperer. Go check out my past live streams and everything. They call me the Gacha Whisperer now. That is a title that I have earned. Title Hunter Dead Man, Gacha Whisperer. All right, cool. I'm the type of person that if I get a character on the first multi, I'm like, all right, bro, I already got him. I know I'm gonna get more. Like, if my luck is that astounding in the first summon, I know it does. My luck don't wear off that easily, bro. The Gacha Whisperer knows when it's time to go deep and when it's time to pull out. But when they give us this second hidden inventory banner, I'm expecting one free multi, not two, just one. I don't think that's too much to ask, especially because they're rerunning them so freaking fast. But after this, and you'll notice that I'm kind of backtracking on some of the stuff. I pretty much went through all the stuff that they announced, and then I went canonically through all the stuff that they announced to see what are we missing so far. And I think after this hidden inventory part 2, everything after this is actually no, this is already like everything that's not announced, and this is all in canonical order at this point. But after this, there's like a free page in the mix somewhere. It doesn't look like it's linked to any banner or any event or anything. What I think it is a login thing, because I think a new chapter dropped, and I think that maybe it was just like literally they gave this as a login reward for, or not a chapter, but like a new campaign, a little campaign. Oh, maybe it was when the Fukuoka side story comes out. No, that's a little later down the road. So literally they just gave away this page for free. I do not know where they gave away the page. It is called Night in Hakata. At 5-star. Use this on any skill. Recovers 15% HP and decreases own damage received by 20% for 2 turns. This would be excellent for like Maki or something like that. Then, at the start of battle, if your HP is 50% or lower up to 1 time, fill his own ultimate gauge by 500. Now, this is where it's kind of whatever, because Inumaki's ultimate you don't really want to do most of the time, the SR one, or the rare one. This maybe could be good for like Megumi, right? But in the case that your domain Megumi is not fully worked on, right, and it's easy for him to get pushed below 50% HP, then he comes in the next turn, he gets that 500 ultimate energy buff, and then all of a sudden you're just popping a domain real quick, and then it just turns the tables completely. So I see merit in this page. I do not think this page is bad, especially if you don't even have to do an event for it and they're just going to give it away to you, which it seems like. Typically the pages that have really shitty stats like this are those kind of pages where it's like they just kind of give them away for free. So maybe not, who knows, but we continue on down the timeline. We're going to get the Chiki Cursed Corpse Explorer Stage 1. Guys, this is literally another event where they just layer extra rewards on top of what you're doing. So the way that this event works is that I think every bit of stamina that you spend, I've only experienced this event one time. Like both of these events, the event marathon and then this right here, I've experienced both of those things one time. The event marathon maybe 2 times. But this one right here is basically every time you use stamina, from what I remember, every time you use stamina, you get these little blue battery charge looking things, because I feel like the curses are sitting on like a little car or a little buggy or something. You get these little like charges, I think directly proportional to how much stamina you use, and you can literally use those charges to go and travel over these nodes, and as you travel over the nodes, you get all these different rewards, and I'm pretty sure that you can backtrack on the nodes and get every single reward, and I didn't even abuse this to the fullest extent and get every single thing from it, but I know there was like standard banner tickets in there at least, there were cubes in there obviously, they had I think chaotic Jujutsu crystals or at least shards or something like that. So again, very good rewards. And guys, when you see the rewards they actually are giving out during this, you're gonna be like, hey yo, what the hell? After the Chiki Cursed Corpse Explorer stage, we then have the Powerful Enemy Battle versus Eso and Kechizu rerun. And this one is especially different because this one is going to introduce SP battle. So let me show you something real quick. I know that fighting the OVP and Spider to get into the JP version of Phantom Parade can be toxic as hell. So I went ahead and preemptively got it loaded up. So right here, we have the imaginary battle against Mahito? No, Hanami at the moment. So in the global version right now, every time an event comes out, this is grayed out right here. But you can see here, if I click it right here, it says you have to defeat versus very hard 2 first, which is obviously the last level of the entire event. So you have to be, or no, it's the second to last level actually, because you have extreme as well. But you have to be the second to last level of the event to do this, because the SP missions are literally on the extreme level. What the SP missions allow you to do is to add extra difficulty to your missions. And let's see. all this are going to be the regular rewards right here. This is for you collecting all of the red coins that you can, right? And then if you look here, there's 2 secret titles. Where are the rewards for the SP missions? I guess the rewards for the SP missions are actually locked away in the SP mission section, which kind of sucks because then I can't really show them to you. But nonetheless, these are about to get more in depth and add in more rewards for you and more challenging difficulties for you to just test out your characters, because it's not always about the stuff that they're giving away to you for free or the stuff that they're making you work for. Sometimes it's literally just about pushing yourself. So it's really nice to like work on characters in a game and then some new hard event comes out and like maybe you don't smack the event as soon as it comes out, but it's very nice even if you got smacked by the event when it comes out. By the time it comes back around, you can just improve greatly and you can smack the event a lot harder than you can before. That there is a lot of merit in that, guys. Like, then also you see the reward shop for this is always good. You know, 5 tickets right here. The other 5 tickets was literally in the multi. You get 150 phantom medals every time these come out, which is a big jump to your phantom medals. I believe that this came back on the second rerun. Typically on the second rerun is when the page comes back. It's just always going to be there once it comes back though for you to pick up. But very good rewards in here nonetheless, right? Now guys, we come back to our Bible, the JJK Phantom Parade wiki, and we'll see that after Eso and Kechizu's rerun with the new SP battle added on, and I've seen Lord Slug, yo, check out the homie Lord Slug's channel, look for SP battle or whatever. I remember he did one of the SP battles and I think he beat like the hardest difficulty that you could like set it to yourself, and I was like, hey, yo, and I went to go try it myself. Now that was on the JP version, of course, that wasn't on the global version yet, but like I got absolutely clobbered. And my characters weren't that bad for the reroll account that I was using, but even still, that man's got the skills. Him and Red Panda, bro, those two are like some of the craziest free-to-play players in a gacha game I've ever seen. Like those two, actual fucking animal mode, bro. I don't get it. Like Red Panda is literally called Red Panda, and Lord Slug's called Lord Slug, so they both have animals in their names. So I guess they do be going animal mode. I don't know, but please go check both of those guys out and follow them. They do wonderful work. The next thing that we get after Eso and Kechizu is going to be Memory Quest Part 4, Hidden Inventory Premature Death 4. And honestly, I think that this page is kind of ass. But when I realized that this page is actually free to play, I'm actually not that concerned about this page being ass. So right here you can see, if Jujutsu damage is 60%, or no, and when ultimate is activated, increases Jujutsu damage by 60% one time for one turn, 6 turn cooldown, so that's okay. If own HP is 30% or less, increases own Jujutsu damage by an additional 10% one time for one turn. So pretty much, if you're below 30% HP, 70% boosted Jujutsu. If you're above 30% HP, 60% boosted Jujutsu. Where it gets interesting though is at the start of battle, grants Revival, Day of Awakening status to self. When Revival, Day of Awakening status is removed and own HP is 50% or less, increases own Jujutsu by 20% and fills own ultimate gauge by 20%. So this man revives, get a heal with the revive, which is a mechanic they just need to add to tanks in general, which tanks do like heal when they revive, but it's like just enough to be alive type of deal. Like they need to heal big amounts. Like, you know, if a tank is dying and they have a revive, they need to be healing like all of their HP. I'm gonna be real with you. Especially defense is not a stat in this game. They need all of their HP. Let's be real, because it's about to get just ripped right back through right after they revive. Also increases own, and when you die, you probably lose your buffs. So like if you had damage reduction, or yeah, literally just damage reduction, or receive less damage taken, right? Then those buffs could have been lost, and then you're just gonna be even easier to rip through your health. So like we need to start making tank characters have stuff like this. Like, okay, they revive, but they get 100% HP when they revive, and maybe even have like a little shield or something. When are they gonna add a shield mechanic? You know what? I'm asking for a lot of extra stuff right now. Increase. This page actually isn't that bad though. I actually see some merit in it, especially with it being free to play. At first I thought it was dog shit, but with it being free to play, I'd say that there's some use to it. So go for it. Who knows? Then also we get the gacha pickup, hidden inventory, premature death 3 rerun, and again, free multi. I am manifesting a free multi on every single rerun for everybody. And everybody who got absolutely shafted on the first run around of all these banners, I am praying for you. The dead man is praying for you that you get at least an SSR character that you're missing, that you really wanted in the first multi. Or you just get the new character in the first multi. But like, guys, I am campaigning for free multis on all of these reruns, bro. I'm not kidding. All right, let's move on to the next thing. The next thing is going to be the map event, Great Exorcism Battle Valley Edition 2, and this came out with Green Nobara. But we're just going to go over the page that came. The page is called Aoi Todo's Youth Minerals. When any skill is activated, increases own damage dealt by 20% for 2 turns, effective for green type attacks, or Yoru. Red is Jin, blue is A, yellow is Ko, green is Yoru. This one sucks balls because it's a 9-turn cooldown. We are not digging that. And then also, at the start of each wave, Increases all enemies taijutsu damage received by 10% for 3 turns, and increases all enemies jujutsu damage received by 10% for 3 turns. Effective for green type attacks. Now this part of the page I actually do like a lot, but it's just like the first half of it is so useless that I'm just kind of like, because like, you know, 20% damage dealt is cool, but I mean like there are other pages that can do better than that, and they're not even limited to green characters. I can literally just bring like perfect synchronization or archery training, archery instruction by Noritoshi Kamo or something like that, right? But nonetheless, it is free stuff, and you're gonna get it 5-star anyway. So if you're missing anything, then yes, you can use this to kind of like fill in the gaps for yourself. Next up, we have the implementation of the Fukuoka branch side story, or the Fukuoka branch campus side story, and we're gonna get a story event at the time that this is happening, and we're gonna get Fushiguro, right? Green Fushiguro, and Green Fushiguro actually is not gonna have a page on his banner unless they decide to change it or something, but we will just be getting a free-to-play page. So I do like the fact that Megumi does not come with a page 2, because if you were naturally used to summoning on banners that come with a new page and a new character, I feel like it's going to incentivize you not to summon, because you're automatically gonna look at that and be like, oh, there's less on this banner because they're not bringing a new page with it too. Because at least with the new page, the pages are usually solid. So you could at least look at it and be like, okay, if I don't get the character, I get the page. But without the page there, I feel like that one's gonna like maybe make people be a little more careful about summoning, and I like that very much. This is anything to make people control themselves, because at the end of the day, people won't control themselves. People are gonna summon, like, bro, I already know that I'm gonna be live streaming whenever all the new stuff comes out and the half anniversary is going on. I already know I'm gonna be summoning and all this, and then people are gonna be coming into my chat and saying like, yo, I can't summon at all because I went balls deep on the Megumi banner, or I went balls deep on the Green Maki banner, or I went balls deep on this banner, and it'll be like, this game sucks, they don't give enough cubes. And be like, no, motherfucker, you suck. You should have saved your damn cubes. You just exposed yourself and then said somebody else sucks. That's projecting, bro. You suck. You suck. Save your cubes. Come on. I've said that I'm gonna save my cubes, and guys, sometimes that falls through, especially when a new character comes out, and I'm just like, okay, let's go. But it's like, now that I have all the characters that I need right now, because I should be more worried about getting all the characters for content, yeah, but I understand that JJK Phantom Parade is a very unforgiving game, and honestly, until my YouTube videos produce enough money that the money I'm spending on JJK Phantom Parade is strictly from YouTube videos, then I just don't understand summoning for every single character, especially when most of them aren't good. At that point, you are just testing characters out. But I'm just like, if you test out the characters that are good, you can get just as good views, whatever, blah, 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 right? So every character is just not worth summoning for, even if you're a content creator. Like, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Every character is not worth summoning for, because, like, literally, past you making a video about them and being like, oh, this is pretty cool, lying to people. I'm not saying that you lie whenever you say this is pretty cool, because, you know, testing characters is cool. But like after that, it's like you have to, it's like, bro, when you spend money for a character and work on them, because you're spending money on the character, then you're spending time, then you're spending mats on the character. When you spend all three of those things, your view of the character is going to be skewed to make you believe you didn't do the stupidest fucking thing you've ever done. And like, bro, I'm sorry, I love DRC3, but I'm just like, bro, you gotta stop summoning on all those banners, my man. That should be crazy, because he does not get lucky on those banners. I be watching his videos, bro, and I be like, yo, I be sitting there, hands together, asking the gods, like, yo, please give my, he's a chill dude, please give my boy the character. Please give my boy the character and a few summons so he can just stop this madness. And it never happens that way, bro. And I feel so bad about it. And I understand that feeling for a player who is walking into it and committing to spending the money beforehand, knowing that he could get railed on summons, right? So I know that it hurts even worse for a free-to-play player who the only thing that they can really spend for their cubes is time. And time is so much more valuable than money, bro. Oh, man. The amount of time I'm spending at my computer playing this damn game when I could be out doing something else, which I don't let this game control my life. I play soccer, I still go out to social functions and chill with bitches and stuff like that. It's just like, it's cool, right? But even still, this game is taking up a lot more time that would have been not justified if I wasn't making content on it. But honestly, the times where I was going for the content, like, then at that point, the time wasn't justified. But either way, we're gonna go over the side Fukuoka branch campus thing first, just because I like to go ahead and get all the parts of the video that incorporate this version of the game out of the way, so that like if the VPN does die on me, then it dies on me, and it is what it is. But guys, basically what the differentiation between the Fukuoka branch and the main story is, or the Fukuoka side story, is that right now the story, we are working towards chapter 16 on the global version. But before we even get to chapter 16, which I don't even know why they call it chapter 16 in the main story. Yes, it's the 16th chapter come out, but like update the name so that we're not confused between these two chapters. But basically, they're gonna break the chapters up. So the main story is actually only gonna be 8 chapters because we're only at the we're literally only at the Shibuya incident right now, and we're at like the cusp of the Shibuya incident, not even the actual start of the Shibuya incident, right? We released some characters a little early, yes, you know, Domain Expansion, Gojo, Sukuna, whatever, but at the end of the day, we're still at the start of the Shibuya incident event, so that's why the chapters are so like short on this. We're probably like halfway through it at this point, but then you see Fukuoka is completely done, because whenever the anniversary came, I guess they realized that it was inefficient to keep trying to make original story and trying to incorporate the actual story from the show. So they were just like, let's just go ahead and break them apart. We did what we did with the original story. We got what we got out of these characters. Because I'm not gonna lie, I think that the original story was a success because they did get all the way through it. They did have a conclusion, and they did introduce a SR, a rare variant of both of their characters, their original characters, and then even worked their way up to an SSR variant of both of the characters, and the more popular character got the last SSR, and then it was a beautiful way to end it off. So I think that it was actually magnificent how they did that. But that is literally the Fukuoka branch and side story and then the main story like kind of like split up. That is what that's going to be. The page that we're going to be getting during the side story update and during the Megumi banner is going to be called it's called Before the Battle for Kyushu, and it comes from the story event, Ichichi's Report, Kyushu Records. Some of like this stuff, this is when I started playing JP again, so I actually remember like a majority of the stuff like being in the game whenever I was hopping in. I remember this being there, I remember the Maki event being there. From the Maki event on, I kind of remember. Sometimes there were little gaps where I wasn't playing, but still, for the most part, I'm there. This page recovers all allies HP by 15%, reduces own damage received by 15% for 1 turn, and that can be used on any skill, and it has a 6-turn cooldown like an offensive page. So that's really good, actually, in my opinion. Then reduces own damage received by 5% at the start of battle. That's whatever, but I mean, like, that little bit makes a difference. Like I said, there's no defense in the game at all, so like, that little bit makes a world of difference. Very good page, I think, for free-to-play. That sounds crazy of me to say very good, but I'm just like, bro, it's a team-wide heal, it's giving you some damage reduction, and it reduces your damage, like, at the start of the fight. Like, is that not good? Is that not a solid, just, like, page that you don't have to work for at all? I mean, you have to do the free event, but, like, you're gonna work for the event's cubes anyway, so can you really consider it being extra work if you were already gonna do the work anyway for something else? No, you can't. All right, guys, the first little bit of all that stuff was like a very big jumble, but now we're on the like the tail end of all the stuff that's coming. Firstly, we're gonna get another Powerful Enemies versus Hanami rerun, and I'm pretty sure this one's gonna have SP battle onto it. They're just not going to make a point to specify SP battle anymore on these, because as these come back, they're naturally gonna have SP battle. It's like the first 2 times they come, the first time they come is just for you to get your feet wet and experience the mission. The second time that these come for the second rerun is for them to add a page in, and you get the page from it. The third time on is for them to introduce SP missions to it. And if there's a 4th rerun for any of these, then I don't know if they've added anything on the 4th rerun, but be on the lookout for the 4th rerun just to you know, see what's going on exactly. Pay close attention. After that, we get the introduction of the Cursed Object Collection ×2 drop, which is going to save a multitude of people, because Cursed Object Collection is dog shit to farm and requires so much stamina for you to farm. Essentially, the way that I farm Cursed Objects is whenever new events come out, I spend all of my time farming the event first, because you're going to get cursed objects from the event. Then once double stamina drops, double weekend drops, I spend all of my stamina from Friday to Saturday night literally just doing double run. And I even wake up early enough on Sunday morning that the reset's not quite there yet, and I'm off on Sundays, so it's just like I can really like maintain this, right? Sunday mornings I farm even more right before daily reset, so I can get all of the double drop stamina out, right? But I'm just curious as to how they're going to incorporate this. Is it going to become a thing where time 2 drop for event quest and domain investigation are going to be one weekend, and then times 2 drops for cursed object collection is going to be time 2 the other weekend? Or is it going to be that all of them are just mashed together on the weekend? But honestly, at that point, I'm going to need them to give us like all of Sunday as well, because I can't. It's going to be very hard for me to prioritize experience versus JP versus cursed objects, right? All of those are literally equally fucking important. Curse objects because that's your grade, that's what's pushing your characters the most. Experience because it takes so much to get them characters into those really, really high levels. Like, I'm so scared for level 150 to be in the game, because getting the character to level 125 already, honestly, getting the character to level 115 is already a beast in itself. Once you get past level 100, man, the amount of experience, well, honestly, once you get close up to 100, the amount of experience that you need per level is just insane. And I'm literally looking at Red Panda right now and cheesing the mission every day that says enhance the character by 1 level. I'm literally leveling up Panda one level every day. He's level 5 right now. When I get him to level 6, he's literally going to only take 8 experience, versus these characters who are in the hundreds levels taking 400,000 experience every level. Just to give you guys perspective of how gigantic of a gap it is, how big of a jump that you're about to experience with experience, no pun intended, with experience and with grades. At the point that we get this, we would have one more map event. Again, I remember this event whenever I came back into the game. This one just had a rerun banner with it. Ignore the rerun banner. And it's crazy for me to say ignore the rerun banner, because I think Hanami's good. I think this page is excellent, and I think this page is excellent. The only thing that I think is maybe an L on this banner is Mekamaru, and even still, he's not an L because he's a breaker unit. And you guys know what these banners are, know what these characters are. But even still, not worth it, because anniversary. But right here, map event, Great Exorcism Battle, Valley Edition, Volume 3. Valley Edition 3 is going to introduce the page. They don't have it right here, but the page is called Those Who Do Not Mesh. Two Who Do Not Mesh. Two Who Do Not Mesh. When any skill is activated, decreases own damage received by 100% for 1 turn, decreases own damage dealt by 100% for 2 turns. I thought this was cool reading that first line. I was like, oh, finally a tank page. Then I saw this. Honestly, no, it's still a tank page, because, like, is your tank there to do damage? No. But they like to build tanks like they're there for damage. I don't understand why, but this essentially turns your tank into a true tank for 1 turn. Actual damage reduction, no damage being dealt. At the start of battle, attracts all attacks to self for 1 turn. So honestly, it seems like you might have to use this as soon as the battle starts if you're going to be attracting. But honestly, if your character is like strong enough or has damage reduction built in to their passive or something like that, then they should be good. So necessarily you don't have to use it on the first turn, and you can get the first turn tanking out whatever you need to tank out, and then when a turn gets really crucial and it seems like somebody on your team that's really important is about to die, then boom, you pop this one as well. But just keep in mind that you do have 8 turns before you can use it again. And if your tank is actually a solid DPS on your team, which they design them that way for some reason, then you're going to be a little strapped for damage for 2 turns, not just 1. So that is a little unfortunate. 100% damage reduction for 1 turn, but no damage being able to be dealt for 2 turns is a little sucky. After this map event, we should finally officially be in like precursor to the anniversary stages. And guys, the anniversary was November 21st, because the game released on November 21st. So the half anniversary for us is going to be May 7th, because I looked through this timeline, and exactly 6 months after the game started, yes, that's when that's when the half anniversary started. They didn't do any bullshit where it was like, okay, before we're at 6 months exactly, or after we're at 6 months exactly. The only thing is they dropped this banner right before, 4 days before, because this wasn't anniversary. This was just to kind of give you that last little push so you're ready for that anniversary content, because they release, you know, these extra grades for you in this extra story chapter, which obviously comes with its own extra EX story mission. And then obviously work on your grade, work on your characters, extra cubes from the character growth rank system. Also, we have the main story chapter 16 campaign, which had the login bonus, which gave us a free summon for this Kaito right here. Then also they made the main story cost 0 AP, and no, that was during the anniversary. I won't even bring that up. That was during the anniversary. That'll be in the other video. Main story called 0 AP. So this will be a prime time for free-to-play players to jump in, because you can traverse the entire story. And typically, what makes you stop doing the story is maybe not how hard it gets, especially with the characters you're gonna have access to. Maybe not how hard the story gets, but more so you running out of stamina. But with you having stamina, you can cheese story mode, go farm other things with your stamina, keep leveling up off of those other things, keep filling your stamina, and then just keep going back into story mode and double dipping over and over again to make your character stronger whenever you're not strong enough to continue to story mode. So free-to-play players, beware of that. Not free-to-play players, new players that are trying to come in, and honestly free-to-play players also that maybe aren't fully caught up in the story. Just understand that if you're kind of lurking on the story at this point, you don't really care about being fully caught up in the story all the time, because you don't care about grades and you're able to beat whatever you're beating right now, right? Just know that the main story is going to cost 0, and within the next 50 days, or after the next like 50 days, it should cost 0 AP to do the main story. And then this one is specifically for sweats that I'm going to talk about. Oh, and I'm sorry, you get a free login page as well as a part of this login campaign, and the page is called Each on Their Own Path. Increases own Jujutsu damage and taijutsu damage by 20%, and increases damage dealt by 10%. That's a lot. for them to just be giving it away. This one I remember they did just give it away, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe you had to beat the story mode and then you got it. But like, yeah, that's actually a lot. 20% taijutsu, 20% jujutsu, 10% damage dealt. And then at the start of battle, recovers own cursed energy by 10. Not a bad page, especially as a free-to-play page. You don't have to summon for it. Maybe you have to work for it, but again, you're typically already working on the things that you would have been working on without the page as an incentive. New feature, main story pass. This is mainly for sweats. This is not for free-to-play players. I mean, it is for free-to-play players because there's a free-to-play section to it, but as you can see, it is a pass, which means that you are probably going to be paying for it, a premium version of it, right? So the last thing that I need this version of the game for, if I come here to the Phantom Parade pass, this is the regular pass that comes out every single month, the one that every single time you buy it, you know, you get an upgrade to the rewards that you get. This right here translates to like $7, but nothing in the game is like $7, so it'd probably be like $8. Now that I think about it, I can't really recall how much I spend on the pass whenever I like buy it in the global version, but I'm pretty sure it's like $7.99 or some shit like that. So like $8. Worst comes to worst, they're charging you $10. They're taxing and charging $10, right? But that means either way, these two passes right here together cost either $16 or $20, depending on if it's $8 or if it's $10, right? But what do these two passes get you? I'm not gonna go over these crystals right here because these eventually become super, like, bro, the basic stuff for leveling up your characters, these JP bit to recollection memory or experience, beacon to recollection bits, and then beacon of experience, right? And then where else? The really small crystals. All of these eventually are going to be given to you in such a multitude that it's like not going to matter anymore, because everybody doesn't have the gameplay experience that I have. Everybody's not working on every single character that I'm working on. Some people are just working on the characters that they need and they're just min-maxing their gameplay experience. That is 100% okay. That is 100% fine. That makes sense. What I did tally up though is all of the important stuff for the sweats who are looking at this, because let's be real, the sweats that are looking at this are just looking at the cubes, they're looking at the AP packs, they're looking at the, you know, Phantom Parade gotcha tickets. So, and the chaotic SSR crystals, which are right here. Guys, I did a quick tally. This is 6,000 cubes, so literally for $16 or $20, you can instantly pump up your summons, 2 more summons, so 6,000 cubes, 20 standard banner tickets, 10 AP packs, and then 6 chaotic crystals, on top of all the experience and bits and JP and all that stuff that they're giving you, which I'm gonna be real with you guys, all of this stuff, like I said, can be a bitch to farm, and especially when they're going to be introducing like double drops, cursed object collection. You accepting all of these rewards right here on the bottom, sweats, light spenders, that'll kind of alleviate the choice for you of like, should I do cursed object collection or should I do experience? Because this isn't going to give you the experience that you need to work on every single character that you want, but it's going to give you a nice little amount to put a dent in them, right? So, guys, main story pass is going to be incredible as well, but I just want to go back through and I want to tally up everything that we are going to be getting from now to the half anniversary, or should be getting, so that the games can be caught up, because I am certain within my spirit, and honestly at this point I think everybody is, because they literally are playing the game and they can see the shit that they're doing. I'm pretty sure they're trying to sync up the versions. I thought what better way to end off the video while I tally up all the crazy free shit we're going to be getting, what better way than to just casually, subtly flex my account, just leave it sitting in the background. But guys, in total, we're going to be getting 4 map events, which means 4 different occasions where we're going to be getting hella cubes. We're going to be getting standard banner tickets, Phantom Parade medals, or Phantom medals, I'm sorry. We're also probably going to get free multis for the banners that they're associated with, except for the Panda map event, because it doesn't come with a banner. And not to mention, all of those things have score rewards attached to them as well, which the score rewards give you even more better rewards on top. We have 2 story events, which the rewards for those are a little more basic, but again, always has a free multi wrapped into them. So theoretically, that's 5 free multis right there, just off of the shit that I'm looking at right here. We have 1 memory quest, which is going to be, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands anymore. We have 1 memory quest, which is going to be the, no, we have 2 memory quests actually, which is the Ghetto memory, the I See Then Die, and then the Gojo's Awakening memory. We have 7 events that directly provide cubes, basically then, or no, I'm sorry, 8 events that directly provide cubes. The memory quest events, the story events, and the map events. All 8 of those events directly provide cubes to you, directly provide, you know, standard banner tickets, phantom medals, maybe even tickets for a gacha or whatever, free multis that wrapped up into them if they want to be that generous, when they want to be that generous. I'm again speaking it into existence, guys. We have 2 new styles of reward campaigns that are going to get added on top to the stuff that we already get rewards on, which is going to be the event marathon campaign. Again, milestone markers for how much you do, and then the Chiki Cursed Corpse Explorer Stage 1. Again, spend stamina, get charges, use the charges to make your way on the board and get all of the rewards on the board. Then we have 3 more imaginary battles, which 2 of them are going to be reruns that should have SP missions. The one that we're going to get first is going to be the Jogo one that they announced, and that was going to introduce a new Jogo page, but the other 2 should introduce SP missions for Mahito and Hanami, I believe. Because that's how it cycles. It's literally Mahito, Hanami, Jogo, and then Eso and Kechizu. Are they gonna eventually add Eso and Kechizu to the shop? Who knows? Then we're going to have the Cursed Object ×2 drop introduced, and then altogether, I'm counting 12 free recollection bits, some of which are actually pretty solid. Yeah, that's exactly 12 free recollection bits. So guys, on top of all that stuff, also everything that I said from the main story pass if you're a sweat. But everything that I said beforehand, you know, the 8 events that provide direct cubes. Oh, not to mention story mode is going to provide direct cubes and have EX missions to it as well. Like, bro, the amount of cubes that are, say they gave us, is 1,000 cubes too generous, you think? Even if they gave us 1,000 cubes per like celebration or something, I think it's more than 1,000 because we get a lot from the missions, a lot from the like beating the pages, like, bro. Plus all the extra, like, even if they gave us 1,000 cubes per event, that's like 8,000 cubes right there. And then, you know, story mode, you know, you can top that up to like 9,000 cubes. You had at least 3 multis coming your way. At least 3 multis. Not to mention that Global has the 5 major W's of, oh, we just got introduced to the wishlist campaign, which is going to give us cubes and a free character every month of our choosing. They're probably going to be the shitty 6 original characters, but even still, shards that you can use in the shop to trade in towards better characters in the future when you get them. 2, we literally have Limited Tower, which brings us 1,500 extra cubes every single month. Insanity. 3, we literally already have the speed at which all this stuff comes to Global. It's like, imagine being a JP player and waiting for all this stuff to come out over the entire span of a year, and then just going to the global version, and then you're just getting all this shit back to back to back to back to back, which is like, global players hate it. But I bet you the JP players are kind of like, yeah, I wish stuff would come a little bit faster. I'm kind of tired of like looking at this event or something like that. 4, we're also getting the ×2 drop on the stuff every single weekend already. And literally, I was watching a Slug stream recently. He said that the last time they had ×2 drops was like 2 months before they had just gotten it that time. And then 5, the secret shop. The secret shop is literally so busted because the JP players do not have access to the secret shop at all. But the secret shop is pretty much bundles that are based on these cube bundles right here, right? These aren't the direct cube. Oh, that's limited time. There are bundles that are based off of these cube bundles, right? And there are going to be some $80 items in the secret shop. But those $80 items always have 10,000 cubes tacked on. Because typically when you pay $80, you get 10,000 cubes. But the difference in between that and the secret shop is, literally, this is going to say something like, okay, 10,000 cubes, 25 AP packs, 5 resonant crystal shards, which, if you don't know what that is, the resonant crystal shards are literally the shards that you combine to make character dupes for any character in the game, right? Or maybe you get a $40 bundle. It's going to have 5,000 cubes attached to it and then have some crazy rewards with it. But every bundle that you see in the secret shop has the typical amount of cubes that will be given to you for that bundle price, but then it has extra stuff added on top. So the secret shop is actually really crazy for global sweats. Like, it is super crazy. They pretty much said, hey, you want to catch up to JP, bro? We got you. The only thing that they don't sell in the secret shop is, I believe, Phantom Seals, which that would be too OP. But guys, again, we are getting tons of free stuff. Guys, we got tons of free stuff coming up. And again, this is the golden era of JJK Phantom Parade because this is about to be an experience that even JP players were not able to experience. The only way a JP player can experience this is literally just switching over to the global version and just jumping in head first. Like, it's going to be a good time to re-roll. It's going to be a good time to start. It's going to be a good time. Like, dude, it's just going to be a hell of a time. When Domain Gojo comes in general, the re-roll is already important. But dude, man, the time that is coming for us is absolutely insane. And honestly, guys, I'm going to end this video by sharing an intrusive thought with you. I really want to try my hand at making a shepherd's pie. That's going to be it for your boy Deadman Vince. If you enjoyed the video, go down below and comment down below and let me know what do you think about all the information that I just gave you. 2, leave a like on the video, because if you watched this far, you definitely liked it. Honestly, you got to be in love with me at this point if you watched this far, because this video, as I'm recording, is an hour and 15 damn minutes long. But also, you can subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the dead man is here for you. But y'all have a good day. That's gonna be it for your boy Deadman Vince. Love you guys.